video is for you if you're a crafty, arty person, if you're chronically ill or disabled, low energy, if you're neurodiverse, and just a little bit on the wonky bonkers side. Stay tuned, my lovely. Hello, matey. Long time since I've done one of these kind of chatting into the camera doobry whatsits. How are you doing? I cannot believe we're in another new year. I heard yesterday that the Barbie film was in 2023 and I was like, are you kidding me? How are these years just rolling past? Weird, isn't it? You may have seen me recently. I've been a bit more on TikTok. I've been trying to create, and sometimes I don't have the spoons and the energy to kind of work around creating something physical, and making little TikToks and stuff has been a way of being creative and, you know, expressing my creativity. That works for me right now, so that's been really nice. And I do kind of get a little bit over with it. I can't seem to find a balance. What's new? I have just reopened my Etsy shop. It was really weird deleting like 800 odd items, listings. And it made me sad because of all the work and effort I put into the stationery business, my card business. I've been a card maker for 30 odd years. And then to have all that gone. I mean, even the photography, any other small business peeps will know. The photography, how many hours, mates? How much editing? Oh my gosh. And just deleting all of them was so weird. But there's absolutely no way I could go back to doing something like that in the short term. And I need to think about the next 18 months. I can't keep thinking, you know, I'll get better soon, because I might not. And so I just need to pace things. You have to adapt your life to what your circumstances are and what your abilities are at the time. And be gracious with yourself, I think, around that, because it's really easy to get frustrated. I think frustration is probably one of the hardest things when it comes to chronic illness. This isn't a whole vlog about chronic illness. But I know there's a bunch of you who are watching this because you're experiencing similar. So in this video, I'm going to be painting a big painting, and it's still not finished. It's taken me a very long time because I can't stand up for very long. Sorry, that sounds really negative. It's not. I'm trying to pace myself. But of course, I don't know if you're like this. I get excited. I start doing something. I can see something happening and I start getting really excited. And because now our studio is now our living room, when I'm sitting down to rest after painting, to watch a bit of TV, my eyes keep going over to the painting. I'm like, oh, I just want to do that little bit. I just want to, it's not like I've shut the door on my studio, you know, and I can just leave the painting. Then it keeps calling me back and my legs are like, no, sit down, Kuhla. But my inspiration and my brain is like, paint it, paint it. So that's a bit of a struggle. That is, I would say, the only downside for switching our living room up into our studio. Other than that, it's been the best thing, because, you know, it can get to 9 o'clock at night and you go, I'll just do half an hour, little tinkering. Now, if it was in a different room, or if you had to set it all out on your kitchen table again, or if it was like a studio outside of the home, you wouldn't go there for half an hour. Whereas at home you can just have a little tinker. Marvellous. Heard a brilliant quote recently. It said, do you have a gazillion unfinished projects because you simply can't get round to finishing them, like ADHD and stuff? Or would you prefer that than having them finished imperfectly? And I was like, whoa, that's a biggie, because I've got so many unfinished paintings. Do you find when you're painting, you get to a point, you know, well, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you find this. You know it needs more, but you also know you're probably going to kill it. Hello, baby.
You alright?
Yeah. My wife's just come home.
Sorry, you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I really appreciate you guys. Oh, Lordy. I really did love. I really love. And I thought, wow, how have you managed to do that?
Yeah, I was doing it as the TikTok, but then I literally did fall. I was doing it just to do a pretend fall, but I actually did fall. Hey, baby. You're right.
I couldn't help it. No, really. It's just that. Like, I really fucking laughed. Really pissed my pants. Oh, fuck me.
That's my wife. Look at this really cute mug DJ got me for Christmas, but I'm using it as a water thing for my paints because I wanted to use it all year round. Hello, my lovely. This is editing Kuhla doing a little voiceover. Who knows how it's going to turn out? But I thought I'd give you a little talk through as I'm creating. So I'm starting off with really loose marks using pencils, graphite and a little bit of charcoal there just to move some shapes around on the space. Sometimes it helps to have that kind of platform through which to then build up layers and colours and shapes. And I never know where it's going to go. I never know what I'm feeling or how it's working out. But I'm interested to see that that diagonal that's kind of going across the page is still there at the end, which you'll see in a minute. This painting part is about 8 minutes long. Obviously, you don't have to stick around for that. You can skip forward. But if you're an artist like me, you really might want to kind of, you know, get in the vibe and have a look at how another artist work. I always find it really fascinating. So now I'm laying on just splotches of colour, whatever I'm inspired to use. They're mostly Galleria or, you know, Winsor and Newton or Daleroni paints. I think some of it might be Jackson's own paints, not really sure. Just blocking out colours, whatever I'm inspired to use. No real plan, as I said at the beginning. So this canvas in the background, it was literally just a piece of heavyweight canvas that I got just second hand. Someone's getting rid of a roll of it, which was phenomenal. And you can see I've used it to make my pinny too. And I've just decided to, and this is a way of kind of carrying on painting without it costing a lot of money. I've literally just taped it to my wall in my studio space, which, as you know, is also my living room. And I gave it 2 coats of gesso. Unfortunately, when I was doing the coats, I got interrupted halfway through. So it kind of wrinkled without it being wrinkly in a uniform way, which caused some issues, but it's straightened itself out a bit now. And I'm not at all precious about this. You know, this is really for an exploration, for me just to have fun. And then if at the end I decide, yeah, actually, I'm really happy with this, this is worthy of being on a frame, I can then stretch it, you know, buy some stretcher bars and pop it on a frame. I'm not really sure if it's a standard size, but I'm going to worry about that when it comes to it. So again, just throwing over shapes. I try and use both hands so that, because sometimes using the other hand gives a different feel, a different look. It's a lot harder, well, it is for me, to make my left hand do what my brain is telling it. So sometimes there's pleasant surprises, sometimes not. But sometimes it's a nice way of adding kind of naturalistic shapes and contours to the piece that I wouldn't necessarily have been able to create with my other hand. Just spraying the canvas, getting it wet. Now at one point I do spray the canvas and I sprayed it too much, thinking I was going to go for a kind of organic dripping, you know, that kind of, I don't know, bohemian look. And I decided I really didn't like it, and so I have to scrape some of it back really blooming quickly because the paint started to really move. But generally it's nice to keep the canvas quite damp. Little tea break. I'm trying to film from different angles. This is over a few days. One of it's, I think, in the evening, so sometimes the light isn't brilliant, and where I hone in, get a little bit closer to the canvas so that you can have a bit of a close-up. Unfortunately, the quality isn't brilliant, so please forgive me for that. But sometimes also I'm standing directly in front of the canvas, so you can't see what I'm doing. You can just see my elbows moving to the side. But, you know, you're going to have to bear with. I'm going to get better at this, and hopefully I'll work out a way where I can actually have another camera set up so that, you know, whichever angle I'm painting from, you'll be able to see. So I doubt I'm going to talk this whole time because you've probably had enough of hearing my voice by now, but I'd love to know how you're getting on with your painting practice, what you're working on right now. Is it big pieces like this, wild pieces, or are you doing little desktop journaling type pieces? Are you working in a sketchbook? You know, what creative practices are you getting up to? And just to make sure that you are, because, you know, I mean, I say this so often, creativity is really, really a helpful tool in allowing yourself to come back to your center and to get into flow state. And flow state is where all the magic happens. I'm sorry if I'm beating the drum and you kind of heard me say it so many times, but flow state is where all the magic is. It's where we can be at ease, be at peace, tap into good feeling vibes, and allow what isn't serving us to kind of melt away into the background for a while and give us just a bit of peace and a little bit of space from some of that internal dialogue that, quite frankly, beats us up sometimes, doesn't it? So now I'm coming in here with my just a scraper tool. It's actually an old Tesco's club card. Technical term for a very technical piece of equipment, but really handy. It gives you a different look sometimes. I think on a part on the green on the left, I accidentally moved green into the pink and I was very cross with myself for that, but you know, I managed to fix it and sort it out later. Also at the beginning, I don't know if you saw, I was painting with my hands a lot. That was a lovely way of getting the paint through the canvas, but also because it's really grainy, even with the 2 coats of gesso, pushing the paint into the canvas with my fingertips was just so therapeutic, but also it was a good way of getting the paint in there to form a nice layer. So that was really enjoyable actually. I was really connecting with the work. Now I'm noticing all the time I've cut out all the parts, the many moments where I stand back and just stare at the piece, because all the time I'm looking for composition, I'm looking for balance, I'm looking for shapes forming. Oh, there's a little standing back. I do that hundreds of times, and obviously I've cut all those parts out because it's be boring for you to watch me keep standing back. But it's so vital, especially when you're doing a larger piece, a piece that you can't see the whole of when you're standing up close. But even if it is quite a small piece, to be able to step back and then reapproach it gives you a different perspective sometimes, and it allows you to make decisions that you can't always see when you're close up. It's always helpful to have a breather from the work as well. You know, give it an overnight. You'll be really surprised when you come back. And I'm sure a lot of you have already found that. If you want to let me know in the comments how that's been for you when you've been working on pieces, how it is for coming back to a piece the next day. It's quite a magical process, to be honest, isn't it? Seeing the magic happen and seeing what's created. And I don't know about you, but I often find it isn't what I thought it was. And actually, sometimes I've gone to bed feeling a bit disgruntled and a bit disappointed in the work. And then I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh, actually, you're quite lovely. So I'm loving that bright pink, isn't it? Gorgeous. Blotting out that shape at the top. When I first made it, I was really happy with it, but then as I stood back, I found it too distracting. So going over it again because the pink wasn't covering it, and deciding to add more of the blue. It's like a lilac-y blue. I can't remember what it's called, but it's absolutely flipping gorgeous. Sometimes when you're creating work, it's handy to look for the balances of colour. So it's always good, well, not always, but it can be a kind of a neat trick to have 3 pops of each colour or a specific colour in the canvas, so that the eye travels from point to point to point of that same colour, especially if it's a bright or bold colour like the pink or the red or an orange, a colour that comes forward on the canvas. Then your eye will travel around the painting, and it just gives you a longer time to take it in and to be with it and to allow it to speak to you. Okay, I think I'm going to stop talking for a minute, pop some music on, and just let you watch the rest of this. So unfortunately in the last painting session I forgot to press record. Of course I did. So it's changed slightly and I wasn't able to capture it for you, so you're gonna have to use your imagination. But basically some of these marks were made using an old like club card, credit card type thing. Unfortunately I think that's made quite a difference and I'm gutted I can't share it with you, the process, but you get the gist. It's literally me using the credit card to change that. I'm going to be working more on this piece over the next week or so. I'm going to be drawing into it with oil pastels, with pencils, chinographs, things like that, because I want to get really in there. Now I'm going to try not to just make it a great big mess. I can't guarantee that, because for me it's all about the process. I'm not really interested in the end vision, even though I do keep stepping back and having a look and seeing what I think of it. I do have an idea about what pleases me or what is harmonious in a painting, in an overall image, but I don't have an idea about how I want it to be at the end, and I'm just going to try and be really mindful about not going crazy, but I might. Let's have a look at my Jackson's order. A couple of bits in here for my mum as well, which is exciting too, because mum's getting really into art now and painting, which is really exciting. It's nice to share that with her. Okay, this is mum's. Here, I don't think she'll mind. Show you. Oh, aren't they gorgeous? I'll seal that back up before I give that to her. That's exciting. Don't think she'll mind that. And then she's also built, which I'm not going to open, is a masking fluid with an applicator. So I've got myself a Stabilo. That's the wrong pencil. That's not actually what I ordered. They've sent me an aquarelle, a watercolour one. I ordered like a chinograph, so it'd go on any surface. That's not what I ordered. Never mind. Okay, fine. This might be the applicator from my mum's watercolour, but just in case it's not. I think literally I've just ordered paints, so. And I like that it's all kind of, you know, eco packaging, eco tape. Yeah, this is the applicator. Oh, there's my pens. Lovely. So this is an applicator to use with the masking fluid. It's got a really nice fine tip, and then this little pin goes in the tip to make sure, excuse my thumbnail, I got it caught in the error and taken the nail all went. Anyway, you don't need to know all the ins and outs, but anyway, so that's that for mum's thing. And then these Staedtler, which are my favourite permanent pens. They've got a really nice fine tip on them. You can use them on anything, glass, plastic, any sort of surface that isn't porous. You can use them on. It's really super handy. One for me, one for TJ, and a cute little box that obviously I'm going to keep and do something else with. Can't help that, can we? Okay, let's look at these goodies. So I just close that up, it's rubbing against my pinny there. Look how well they're wrapped. Now, because I spent a chunk of money, coming up £100 it was, between me and my mum. My mum's lot was a chunk of that, but I got 2-day delivery. It was actually next day, but because I ordered it in the night time, which was really nice. Oh, look at these. Right, so phthalo blue, I haven't got that at all, and dioxine purple. I'm sure you're going to get to see me use these. Gorgeous. Do you want to guess what colour's next? I'm really hoping it's going to kind of get me back again to more painting. I'm imagining in this vlog I'll be doing painting. Might have even happened. I don't know what order I'll be editing it in, but Oh, hello. Turquoise is my all-time favourite colour. I absolutely love it. The colour of the throat chakra. I've had a lot of issues with that area of my being. So it's interesting that it's actually my favourite colour. You know, I think there's got to be something in all of that. I don't really want to... You know what I'm thinking with this card? Wouldn't it be great for doing like surface texture, printing? Like you could roll a colour onto that as long as it didn't compress too much. And then print off of it. You know, imagine this on your jelly plate. It'd be good, wouldn't it? Doing all sorts of textures. I mean, patterns and stuff, but also, obviously, you could use it for waves in the sea and stuff. So this is the larger size. This is the 500ml. And so I think the 250ml was about £6.90 or something like that. And then the 500 was about £9. TJ and I are going to go halves on that. So I'll just decant half of that. Pop it in my other pot, but that's those so far. And then last one, oh, Payne's grey and cadmium orange. Look at that. I mean, I know obviously I can make orange, but it's just so handy and I'm using it ever such a lot. Oh, there is one more. I was going to say I forgot to get the other colour, but because I like it with the other colour. Payne's grey. My tutor always said, he was Spanish, Fernando Velasquez. If you ever see any of his work, look it up. It's absolutely stunning. I love his work. And he used to say Payne's grey, because it was his second language, obviously. It was the cutest thing. So they're super handy colours. And then last one. Oh, it feels like there's two in here. Was I cheeky and got another one? Maybe I was. I don't know. Look, I didn't know I could just peel this off. That's better than cutting the paper, really. Although, let's face it, I'm not going to use all of this, am I? Oh, I've torn it anyway, look. Lordy, lordy. Whoa. Oh, yes. So, look at that permanent rose. Hello. And the raw umber. Let me just put those together. Ding dong. I'm so excited. Look at these. Oh, man. Stop. Aren't they gorgeous? And then one more little treat in there. I just thought I'd try it to see what the quality is like. They didn't have an A4. I was going to get an A4 version. So I had to get the A3, which is actually fine because I do like to work large and free like. Oh, sorry, the table's wobbling a bit. Has it been wobbling this whole time? I am sorry if it has, because that wouldn't have been enjoyable. Oh, I'm going to have to just tear this off. So this is Jackson's Studio Sketchbook. And it's just so 20 pages of 140. Oh, it's quite a bright white, which I'm pleased about. Oh, and it feels good. Oh, that's nice. This was about £2.70. Look, I don't think you can go wrong for that, do you? £2.70, I'm sure it was. For that, imagine doing your charcoal studies, your sketches. It reminds me a bit about being at college and uni, doesn't you? Yeah, I'm going to really enjoy that. So, I'm very happy with my little stash from Jackson's. Thank you, Jackson's, for Jackson's Art it is, and I definitely recommend them. I'll tag them in below their website or whatever, because it's just super gorgeous. And then, yeah, my mum's bits here, and my pens, and the wrong pencil. But other than that, oh, the masking fluid. Delightful. I'm on a mission to sow little seeds of love. And if you'd like little seeds of love, little good feeling vibes in your email box weekly, then please sign up to my emails. When you first sign up, you'll get a creative workbook, you'll get a list of journal prompts, and then weekly you'll get just some feel good vibes, something about what's happening here with my work and the arty stuff, or some inspiration, some motivational tips. Once a month, maybe a download, freebies, phone or computer wallpaper, printable art, downloadable journaling supplies, affirmation cards, etc. Please sign up using the link below. I'd love to connect with you. So matey, that's that for today. Thank you for tuning in, for joining me, having a chin wag about art and stuff. Please write things in the comments. you know, as always. So have a beautiful, however long it is until I get back here again. Keep creating, keep loving yourself, doing the inner work. Take care. Big hugs. Ciao. And also, please, you know, can you like and subscribe this thing? Cheers, matey.